With the presidential election less than 3 months away, voting rights issues are heating up in numerous battleground states. On Wednesday, a Pennsylvania judge upheld the controversial voter ID law that critics say could disqualify hundreds of thousands of voters. The measure requires voters to produce photo ID before they can cast ballots. Opponents of the law had sought to delay its implementation until after the November 6 elections. The American Civil Liberties Union and other groups say they will appeal to the state Supreme Court, but Pennsylvania House Majority Leader Mike Turzai, a Republican, praised the judge's decision, saying it confirms the integrity of each and every valid vote. Earlier this year, Turzai predicted the voter ID law would help Mitt Romney win the state.
Voter ID, which is going to allow Governor Romney to win the state of Pennsylvania. Done.
In his ruling, presiding Judge Robert Simpson wrote that the law, quote, does not expressly disenfranchise or burden any qualified elector or group of electors. The statute simply gives poll workers another tool to verify that the person voting is who they claim to be.
We're joined by Nicole Austin Hillary, Director and Counsel to the Washington office of the Brennan Center for Justice. Nicole Austin Hillary, welcome to Democracy Now! Talk about the significance of this ruling in Pennsylvania.
Amy, thank you so much for having me on. This ruling is quite significant because here we have a court that has said that despite the fact that the state government stipulated that they have no evidence of in-person voter fraud ever having occurred in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, this court still says that it believes that it is okay for the state to implement a measure that is meant to protect the state against voter fraud that the state has already admitted is simply non-existent. And what we think this does is it sends a terrible message. It basically ensures that many voters in this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania will have a very difficult, if not to impossible, time voting when we approach the November election this year. There are numerous people in Pennsylvania, and the Brennan Center did a report on this that was just released a few weeks ago about the difficulty of obtaining voter identification. There are hundreds of thousands of individuals in Pennsylvania, and the state has admitted to this, that simply don't have the proper ID that under the state's new laws are required in order to cast a vote in November. Even though the state has implemented measures that they say will ensure that every citizen, if they don't have the requisite ID, can get it, we know that when changes are made so close to an election, when an entirely new system is put in place, that it is going to be difficult for each and every voter to be given that proper ID. And for many of those individuals who don't get it, who run into problems, they're simply going to have a difficult time casting their ballot come November.